I'm back with She Fell for a Math Genius Part 5. He slowly dropped to one knee on the worn wooden floor. From his coat pocket, he pulled out a simple, handcrafted wooden box carved with mathematical patterns and the infinity sign. Inside rested a polished silver ring. "Maya," Liam said, his voice filled with deep, sincere emotion. "My life before you was just a series of solvable problems. You gave my world color, meaning, and a future I actually want to live. I don't need a mathematical proof to know that I want to love you for the rest of my life." Tears of pure joy welled in Maya's eyes. She smiled radiantly, kneeling down on the floor to meet him at eye level. "Will you marry me, Maya?" Liam asked, his eyes searching hers with warmth and hope. "Yes," Maya whispered, her voice filled with absolute certainty. 1,000 times, yes." Liam slipped the ring onto her finger, and as he drew her close into a passionate, tender embrace, the world outside faded away, leaving only two hearts finally finding their perfect, eternal equation. Sunlight danced through the leaves of the ancient oak trees in the garden behind Ethelgard books. Soft acoustic guitar music floated through the air, blending with the laughter of close friends, university professors, and fellow students who had gathered to witness a one-of-a-kind celebration. At the front of the garden, standing under a wooden archway woven with white roses and delicate ivy, stood Liam. He looked handsome beyond words in a sharp dark navy suit, his eyes never leaving the path at the end of the aisle. When the music shifted to a sweet, gentle melody, Maya stepped into view. She wore a simple, breathtaking ivory dress with lace sleeves, holding a bouquet of wildflowers. As her eyes met Liam's, every trace of nervousness melted away. She walked down the aisle toward him, each step feeling like a natural continuation of the journey they had started on that rainy night in the library. When she reached him, Liam took her hands in his gaze filled with intense devotion. "We stand here today," the officiant began with a smile, "to join two lives that proved love is the only true constant in a chaotic world." When it came time for the vows, Liam looked into Maya's eyes, his voice low, steady, and rich with emotion. "Maya, in mathematics, infinity, $\inf is not a number, it is a direction without end," Liam said softly, bringing her hands to his lips. "That is how I love you. No boundary conditions, no limits, and no end. I promise to stand by you, to explore every mystery of life with you, and to love you in every universe." Tears of pure happiness glistened in Maya's eyes. She smiled, holding his hands tight. "Liam, you taught me that logic without love is empty, and love with logic is a masterpiece," Maya whispered, her voice overflowing with warmth. "I promise to be your home, your quiet space, and your partner in every equation life brings us. By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife," the officiant announced warmly. "You may kiss the bride." Liam didn't hesitate. He pulled Maya close, wrapping his arms around her waist, and kissed her deeply under the cascading rose petals. The garden erupted into cheering and applause, with Professor Vance leading the crowd with a triumphant smile. Hand in hand, laughing with pure joy, Liam and Maya walked down the aisle together into their new life, a perfect proof that true love was the greatest discovery of all. A quiet coastal town nestled between misty mountains, and the turquoise ocean became their haven for the honeymoon. Away from campus life, phone notifications, and research papers, Liam and Maya rented a small wooden cottage overlooking a secluded cliff. Late in the afternoon, as the golden hour dissolved into a soft lavender dusk, the air grew chilly. Inside the cottage, a fireplace crackled, casting a warm, dancing glow across the room. Maya sat by the wide bay window, wrapped in an oversized knitted blanket, watching the waves crash rhythmically against the rocks below. Liam walked over, carrying 2 mugs of warm spiced cider. He set the drinks on the small side table, and slid into the window seat beside her. Without a word, he pulled her back against his chest, wrapping his arms around her tightly, burying his face in the soft crook of her neck. Maya leaned into his warmth, a sigh of contentment escaping her lips. I feel like I'm living in a dream, Liam. Liam raised her hand to his lips, kissing her fingers one by one, stopping at the silver ring on her ring finger. If this is a dream, Liam whispered against her skin, his voice velvety and rich with devotion, then I never want to wake up. Every moment with you feels like finding the answer to a question I didn't even know I was asking. Maya turned her head slightly to look into his dark eyes, which reflected the warm flicker of the fire. Do you ever miss the academic world, Liam? The big discoveries? The spotlight? Liam smiled gently, resting his forehead against hers so their noses brushed. The universe is vast, Maya, but everything I ever searched for, beauty, peace, truth, is sitting right here in my arms, Liam murmured, his gaze falling to her lips. You are my favorite discovery. Maya reached up, running her fingers through his dark, messy hair, pulling him closer. And you are my favorite anomaly. Liam leaned in, closing the distance in a slow, lingering kiss that tasted like cinnamon and felt like home. The sound of the ocean waves outside blended seamlessly with the quiet beat of their hearts, marking the smooth, unbroken flow of their forever. A week had passed in their seaside retreat, and time seemed to stretch into something timeless. Every morning brought long walks along the misty shore, and every evening dissolved into quiet laughter by the fire. One rainy afternoon, as Maya sat reading on the rug, she noticed Liam sitting at the wooden table. He wasn't staring into space or lost in thought, he was writing in a leather-bound notebook. But unlike the intense, burdened focus he used to have, his posture was relaxed, a gentle smile resting on his lips. Curious, Maya quietly stood up and walked over, wrapping her arms around his shoulders from behind and resting her chin on his cheek. What are you writing, Mr. Sterling? She asked softly. A new mathematical proof. Liam laid his pen down and leaned back into her touch, reaching up to gently stroke her hair. Not a proof for the university, Liam murmured, turning his head to press a soft kiss against her cheek. I'm writing a paper on the mathematical structure of music and human emotion. How certain frequencies create a feeling of peace, the kind of peace I only found when I met you. Maya felt a rush of warmth fill her chest. She looked down at the notebook, filled with elegant diagrams and fluid equations that looked almost like musical notes. You're combining art and science, Maya whispered, her heart overflowing with pride. It's breathtaking, Liam. Science was always missing its heart until you came along, Liam said softly. He turned in his chair, taking both of her hands in his and pulling her gently onto his lap. Maya rested her head against his chest, listening to the steady beat of his heart. Outside, the rain tapped against the glass, but inside, they were wrapped in a world entirely their own. Liam cupped her face in his hands, gazing into her eyes with a love so deep it took her breath away. I realized something today, Maya. What's that? She asked with a tender smile. I used to think the purpose of math was to solve the unknown, Liam whispered, leaning in until his lips brushed against hers. But with you, the only thing I care about is exploring the infinite. If you enjoy romantic stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. Thank you for watching.